Hello again, friends. This is Psycar, and while I am playing FTL, I'm mostly hoping this video resolves the flickering issue I had when I was doing game capture. You didn't see that because I was doing monitor capture last time, but that was kind of annoying. Anyway, I've tested a couple things and I don't see it yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and start recording this video. If it starts happening again, I suppose I'll have to just stop what I'm doing and try to figure out how I'm going to splice this all together. In any event, I believe we're in Sector 3. We've got a largely unupgraded ship. Oh, I didn't jump sectors. Okay. And what the heck was I doing? Oh, that's right. I had to choose between a nebula and a bunch of civilian sectors. Man, this map is so unbalanced. I'm going to think I'm going to go on the bottom route and then hit these last 3 hostile sectors. That kind of sounds like a plan. Zoltan Homeworlds it is. I'm watching my preview here and I haven't seen any problems, so I'm going to go for it and record this video. I had a hell of a start, but honestly it's on easy. You kind of get hell of a starts by default. When the enemies aren't particularly challenging and you're getting 25% scrap over normal, it doesn't take long for your ship's power to kind of spiral out of control. Since I've got so much scrap and I don't need weapon upgrades, I'm going to put little things to make my ship more resistant. That'll increase my evasion. There's a store, but since I just spent scrap, I want to get more scrap before I hit it, so I'll hit a couple jump nodes before I head to that store. Like this fool. Alright, with Zoltan ships, there's really no disadvantage of just firing everything you can, and just busting through that super shield. I don't know if you caught it there, but the ion damage did 2 damage to their shields instead of 1, and that's the thing that happens with ions and super shields. Almost, but not quite. Alright, I'm gonna make sure to desync my weapons here so that I can fire the heavy laser. Boom. Alright, they're in trouble. With heavy lasers, you really want to make sure that laser is going through their shields. And with the ion cannon, that makes it so much easier, but otherwise you have to use the burst laser to batter them down. I killed the crew? I'm gonna have to look down the replay on that. I guess the Zoltan were trying to repair the room I was attacking, and it gave me the crew victory instead of the destroy the ship one. Despite the fact I had a very impressive barrage hitting at them that would have easily destroyed their ship. Okay, well, this is me not really complaining. This isn't really a tutorial of how you kill enemy crews. The general gist of that is if you can kill the enemy crew instead of destroying the ship, do it, because you almost always get higher rewards. But it's actually harder than it sounds. And you want to use specialized tactics like boarding crews or firebombs and stuff. And it's hard because if you're fighting the enemy crew, generally speaking, you're not disabling the systems, because you don't want to destroy the ship. I don't read another crew member. I've never gotten this event, so I guess for some reason I should be reading these texts, I suppose. I guess the Zoltan was like judging me. I don't need to hire him for sure, so get off my ship. There's a lot of beacons up here. I'll hit this one and then I'll jump up to the store. I'm barely paying attention to what the weapon loadouts of my enemies are at this point. It's like whatever, shoot you. And that's a good thing the Kestrel does. With the Artemis and the burst laser, you're by default. What? Did I accept a surrender or something? I was pressing 1 to do my burst laser, and I guess I chose an option. Well, okay. I guess, because I can't undo it. And no, I haven't been drinking or anything. Apparently I'm just clumsy today. Alright. So I can get some stuff. I don't need... For some reason these shops are half empty. I don't need a crew, that's for darn sure. Drone systems and stuff, I want drone control. And I want crew teleporter. On the non-advanced edition, there are only 3 subsystems, and you can fit all 3 on your ship. So whenever you have the scrap to do it, you might as well. With that said, I wish I had a defense drone instead of a combat drone. I mainly want the drone control at this point for missile defense. So this isn't going to be super useful. Neither is the teleporter. Although I have a large number of crew, I only have one semi-decent boarder, Charlie the Mantis. Blah. Burst Laser 2. This is good for battering down shields. Is this going to be my 4th weapon? I don't think so. Right now I only have a barrage of 5 lasers, counting the ion and the heavy. That's not great. You want to do better than that if you're going to be a barrage ship. I think I want to hold out for something better. Admittedly, I'm not sure what better looks like at this point. But, wow, there's really nothing here. Like I said, you want to buy them before the end, but I've got so much scrap. I don't really see the point. I got plenty of everything, and none of this is really jumping out to me as, aha, I gotta have it. Maybe some augments, maybe some better weapons. I saw there's another store down here. So I'm gonna jump there before upgrading my ship, and if I'm once again disappointed, I'll just sink in and upgrade my ship. I almost always pause at the beginning of a fight to evaluate their loadout and see how bad I think the battle's gonna be. This looks like it would be a really annoying ship to try to disable because of this drone. However, as far as the ship to just flat out destroy, not too worried. Nah. I got plenty of everything. And if you have plenty of everything, you almost always want to destroy them and get the higher scrap. Alright, let's see what's at this store. I've only been looking at my preview over there a little bit, but it does seem this is resolved. That's encouraging. Oh right, another Burst Laser 2! As I said before, Burst Laser 2 is the best weapon in the game. If I can get another one, that's 3 more shots for 2 more power. That is the backbone of a powerful barrage. I have a hard time thinking this weapon loadout won't be able to beat the boss entirely. Let's see, what else? Here's all 3 subsystems. I could buy any of them. I even have enough for the cloak, but I think I care more about this right now. If you can get some good augments, you're in good position. And they're hard to get from events. Most events don't offer augments. I like the passive ones like this that just increase your ship's capability, period. I think this would be very useful. And that's also kind of useful, but I'm not going to buy it right now. Alright, so we'll go with that. I don't think I want to buy any of the subsystems yet. I'll hold out until my ship's a little more upgraded. I don't need anything other than that. So, alright, I'm going to try to get this Burst Laser online. I have a hard time seeing how the Artemis fits into the setup. I'm not going to sell it just yet, but I'm not sure I need it at all. Alright, I can get one of these weapons online. I get the Burst Laser and either the Heavy Laser or the Ion Blast. I think for now I want the Ion Blast. That buzzing in the background means I need to quickly reset the timer on my laundry. Since I never figured out how to edit or pause videos without breaking them, I'm just going to walk away, so I'll be right back. Man, it's kind of crap that I've been doing these videos for what, like 2 weeks now, and I haven't figured out the single thing other than pushing the record button and hoping for the best. It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I haven't needed to figure it out yet. I'm kind of that kind of guy where I don't have to worry about something until I have to worry about it. So, they're gonna warp into my missile room. I've got dudes just kind of standing around waiting for trouble to begin. Even an NG, hey, why not? He's just standing there. Alright. Wow, that's getting kind of scary. Let's fire one another way. Shields. And just for the heck of it, we'll fire into their med bay. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, this barrage is really coming together. And once I have that heavy laser online, I'll be able to do just that much more damage. Which I could almost get online right now. But I think one failure people do is that their ship becomes too offensively charged. They get too focused on getting all these weapons online too quickly, and then they don't do things that help them survive. I'm not really having a hard time surviving, but it can change in a hurry. The next sector might have considerably well-armed ships compared to what I'm fighting right now, and I don't want to get this to get out of control. Alright, 1, 2, 3... I actually might... I'm gonna jump here. Oh, that was immediately a mistake. I don't care about either of these things. I guess I'll get the fuel. This was probably not the wisest move. Never frickin' jump into nebulas if you can help it. That said, I don't think they're in a very good position to destroy me either. I can get most of my weapons online. I've been upgrading my ship pretty diligently, so I have enough power sitting around to get things operational. Oh, nice. That is brilliant. You notice I leave oxygen off. I do that a lot in my other videos, too. Don't screw around with oxygen long term, but if you don't expect a fight to go on too long, that's one power you can save. I'm going to not even worry about it until I jump. I might be able to do all of these. Alright, and now I want to make sure I put all the power back into stuff immediately. Oh, that's right, I can't operate both of those at the same time yet. And here I'm getting the advantage of that shield recharge thing. Which is just a great augment overall. There's a similar one for weapons, I think gives you like 10% faster weapons. They're both very useful. Because you do a lot of shielding and you do a lot of weapons firing, and so anything that makes your barrage faster... Oh man, they're in trouble already. It's gonna work out well for you. Man, I'm tired. It's already 10 o'clock. I've got a thing where I kind of neurotically take a nap after work. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, I've always been a night owl. The thought of going to bed early just disturbs me. And so, I guess that's the end of the sector. And so, I mean, I can't go to bed at 10 p.m. It just makes me feel like I'm losing my day. And so, instead of that, I take a nap and then I stay up till like 1 a.m. If I'm going to do anything social, like go out with friends after work, I pretty much have to skip the nap, and that kind of fucks with my sleep schedule. But other than that, I'll do it pretty much whenever I can. Alright, welcome to the group, Luan T. Another match. This is more or less what I need to complete the crew, so I'll take you. Now you're thinking, complete the crew? You got dudes standing around in rooms left and right. True, I do, but there's a method to it. And I might be able to show you in the next sector, which is more Zoltan! Okay, So I've got a lot of scrap. I think it's time to do another upgrade. Level 3 shields will make me pretty frickin' invincible. I had to sink everything into that, but I think it's worth it. It takes a little bit of experience, and I realize I'm not explaining my theory too well, which is kind of terrible since this is supposed to be a tutorial type of video. So, the general rule with FTL upgrading is that you try to upgrade your ship before you think you need it. And, that's definitely easier said than done. But remember that each sector you jump into is going to be a difficulty spike. You see, now we're up to 2 shields on enemy ships. And their weapons will slowly get better as well. So, since I anticipated this sector having harder enemies, I want to stay ahead of the curve. Now, I should be able to easily destroy these fools just because I'm doing that well. But you can see there I went down to 1 shield with a beam attacking me. If I hadn't had that level 3 shield, that would have done some damage to me. A little bit of damage every now and then isn't going to hurt you, but remember the goal of FTL is to go into the final boss with as many upgrades as possible, and the best way to do that is to have as much scrap as possible, and the best way to waste scrap is to have to repair your ship. That is just scrap down the drain. I didn't take any damage in that fight, which means I have nothing to repair, which means every one of those 32 scrap isn't going to repairs, it's going to upgrading my ship. So, since I've got that much more scrap, I can do better upgrades, I can buy some more stuff, I can get the subsystems, and that should be your goal every time, to get out of a battle without fighting anybody, without losing a crew, that's for darn sure. Whatever. And without taking damage. Now I'm gonna take some damage here because I got a friggin' missile launcher. I was kind of on the edge of my seat on that one. I have in the past said things like that in my previous videos, which just flat out turned out to be true. Oh, I'm gonna get hit here, and then I don't get hit. Yeah. It wasn't a bad surrender offer, but I think I can do better. Yeah, I even got more fuel, and I got much more scrap. So I did take 2 damage from that missile. Missiles will be the bane of your existence. Speaking of, let's see what's in the store. Not much! I was hoping for an augment, or a subsystem, so I could show the... Well, I could show whatever they had to offer, but I don't have either of those. I do have some decent, augments here. I highly discourage you from getting the repair arm. It will seem cool because it will repair 2 damage every fight, but that 15% scrap will eventually hurt you. I remember I'm already getting 40 scrap a fight, so that's like, what? It's like 5 or 6 scrap lost every time, and that number of scrap I get every fight is only going to go up, so those auto repairs will actually be really expensive. Now the advantage there is that you don't have to go to stores, but keep in mind you're spending 50 scrap on this anyway, it's kind of a sink. This, on the other hand, is kind of a long-term investment savings. 10% more scrap, so I'm getting like 40 scrap a fight, I'll be getting 44. It has to fully pay for stuff you need 50, but since you can sell it back for half cost, you only really need 25 extra scrap, which means you need to be getting a base of 250 scrap plus 25, or 270 scrap total. If I'm losing you with the math, the long and short of this is, the earlier you get this, the better. Especially if you plan to sell it back before the final boss. This has no combat potential, and so there's no reason not to sell it back before the final boss, so you can get that extra scrap. I only have 1 augment on my ship, and I'm only in Sector 4, so this is a pretty perfect time to get this thing. I'm gonna do so, and that'll give me 10% scrap for most of the rest of the game. Repair 3, those are 9 scrap down the drain, but anything that keeps you going is good. I like having 10 fuel in the tank at all times, so I'm going to buy 1 fuel. And notice there, I'm getting a bunch of missiles and drones I'm not using. The drones I might, the missiles I don't expect to. But you never know, I might get a free weapon, or I might pick up a store that has a really good missile. I'm not leaving it out of possibility that this 4th weapon slot will be a missile. Hey, I'm already getting a bonus from the scrap recovery arm. It's in the tutorial, but in case you didn't pick it up, the blue options are always the best. Blue options become available when you have certain crew members, certain weapons, in this case the scrap recovery arm. They almost always have a much higher chance of success. These events are all slightly randomized, and the blue ones almost always work out in your favor. See, I got a bunch of scrap from that, and that was a possibility from the non-blue option, but some bad things could have happened too. I think there's like 1 event where the blue option is actually the inferior option to the others. I don't remember what it is. I'm not trying to spook you here. Just in general, if you don't know, I mean you can wiki it, but if you don't know, the blue option is almost always worth it. So I'd choose it every time if they are available to you, and you're not really familiar with the game to the point where you know. Do I want to fight a Mantis or a Zoltan? I think Zoltans are easier, so I will save the Mantis and fight the Zoltan. that super shield is the Zoltan's main advantage, but in a shield, an asteroid belt like this, the asteroids are doing a bunch of the work for me. And see, one barrage and it's already gone. Roseluck here has been firing so many barrages, she's already leveled up to the highest experience level. She is now giving me a 20% faster recharge to all weapons, and that means 20% of this cooldown bar is just non-existent. My other crew members aren't leveling up nearly as well, partially because they're not having to fight. Like, I've only gotten evaded once since I got this guy in the engine room, but that's because I just destroy the enemies so quickly that they don't have time to fire things at me that I need to evade. It's kind of a good problem to have, but it is still a problem, because the boss will have attacks that I will want to evade, and so if I haven't skilled up my evasion by then I will be at a disadvantage. Oh man, do I want that missile launcher to go offline. That's, the bigger the weapons are, generally the more damage they do. Nice. And that was a big missile launcher. That would have been one of the ones that does 3 or 4 damage a pop. Since I still have no effective missile defense and only 25% evasion, missiles can really screw up my ship. I haven't been getting much fuel lately, and my fuel's starting to dwindle. I don't need the scrap, and I can see myself using the drones, so I'm going to ignore this. This is a good type of event if you're really suffering, if you can find yourself needing the short term more than the long term. You can sell access missiles or drones for scrap, and they give you a pretty good deal, actually. So, other than the fact you can't sell these, period, this is actually a good value for the scrap. My last civilian sector there. Before I jump, I'm going to upgrade my ship a little bit, just so I can show you some of my thoughts. I could get that last weapon online. It would cost quite a bit of scrap, but it would be worth it. I think I don't want to improve my evasion. Oh, do I? So you can see here you get diminishing returns. The next 2 upgrades give me 5%, 15, 20, 25, and after that it decreases to 3, and for some reason 4. I guess I just like the round number of 35. You almost never completely max out anything. I might do it just because I'm doing so well, but I'm not really worried about it. But those other 2, the next 2 levels give me such massive bonuses that they're definitely worth doing in any run. Plus, improving my evade chance will make it easier to evade, which makes it easier to get evasion experience, which will improve my evasion. So if you don't do this, it's kind of hard to level up evasion, because you won't be evading things in the first place. To be honest, that seems like kind of a crappy way to do it, but I guess it makes sense. I'm only going to put 1 level into it right now. I am doing so well that I want to keep scrap in the bank, just in case I come across a lucrative store, so I can buy one of those subsystems. In any event, that's 4 sectors down, 4 to go. I have weapons that might be able to beat the game as is, but my ship needs a lot more upgrades. And I believe I've solved my technical issues with these videos, so I'm going to cut this one here, and we'll see how this run progresses. And until then, take care.